Hello, my friends. Shawn here with Manly Made Minute, and welcome to another episode of Scrappy Shorts, where everything has potential. Today, we're going to use up those scrap die cut leftovers. So, I just went through a slew of Christmas cards, making Christmas cards, and I've got leftovers of the outside of frames and the inside of frames. I've got some leftover die cuts, just cutting out leftover die cuts and squares and rectangles. What do you do with them? I Please tell me you didn't throw them away because you can still make a card out of it, right? It has potential. So, we're going to make 3 cards for you today. Might be a little bit longer, scrappy short. I'll try to go fast. I just wanted to knock out 3 cards with you because I had ideas for 3 cards as I was going through and getting out my die cut leftovers of my frames. So I'll show you what I'm talking about, show you the leftovers I have, and we're going to make 3 cards. Before I head down to that table cam, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Would love to have you follow me here on YouTube and Instagram. I do all kinds of hops, lives, design team stuff, you name it. I'm just having fun creating and sharing stuff with you and would love to have you join me. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Let's go to the table and let's get started and see if we can knock out 3 cards for you today. Okay, here is what I've pulled for my left, and this is not all of them. I just pulled a little sample of the die cut. So like this is, I cut out the frame and I used the frame, which is this one. So you can see this is the same shape. I would have cut out this one and I used this piece. I did not use the cutout piece. And then vice versa. This one I'd cut out and I'd used this piece on a card. I didn't use this piece. And so I obviously got a new die and liked it, was using it a ton, and so I have these 3 cutouts, pardon me, that we're going to make some cards out of. Here are some other ones I've got. Just a scallop die cut that I just never used. Here's another one we're going to make a card out of. This is the insert, same as that one. I have this one, which is like this teardroppy cutout. I use the insert. That would be a great card. I've got leftover, just a die cut. I've got leftover inserts from some Christmas designer paper that I obviously used the outside pieces for. Then we've got these pieces. This one was actually cut from this one, and I had cut it in half and used it on a card. Same thing, I cut out that, used the other half on a card, and leftover I never ended up using for a die cut that I have as well. So let's pull. I'm going to use this one, and we're going to do an outside frame one for you today. So I'm going to put that one aside. Let's move these aside, and let's just get started. I'm going to start with this Christmas one because I want to use some glitter glaze. I want to give it a chance to dry as much as possible before the end of this video. So I've pulled 2 stencils. This one was from Stencilpalooza. It's actually the Christmas light, so you do the string and then you add the bulbs. I'm just going to use the bulb side. This one is the random dots that we're going to use. And so I'm going to use both of these. I cut a card base for this card. And so when I look at these, I am looking at what can I put in the background? What can I add for embellishments? What can I add even maybe just to this piece and put it on a white base and call it a day and jazz that up? What kind of stuff can I add as I'm doing this? And I'm just doing the bulb portion of this, and I'm just making these random. If they overlap, they overlap. All the better, just to have this randomness to it. Look how fast that is, right? That's it. That's it for that. I'm not going to make the bulbs out of them. I just wanted the dots. Then I'm going to grab this random dot, and we're going to do a little bit of, I think this is emerald. I'm almost out. I think I have a new jar in the drawer. One of my faves from Christmas, and this from the witch release. All right, I'm just going to throw this on here. Nice little thin layer to get a little glam behind this focal point that I had cut out. Just give it a little sparkle, give it a little, zhuzh it up as much as I possibly can. All right, let's just peel that up. That'd be a great card just putting a sentiment on it, to be honest. Okay, I'm going to set that aside to dry. Let's just move my stencils out of the way. I dishes. I need a little soaking bucket for stencils and things. Right, let's just clean up my glitter. We're going to come back to this card, okay? Let that dry a little bit. Let's move on to, this one's going to be cute. I'm super excited to do this card. I did prep. I did look at these and try to decide what to do, so I wasn't just wasting time here on the video for you all. So I did look at these. I did pull these and try to figure out cards for them. Again, looking at what I can do. This was a big boo-boo. The tape stuck to it when I die cut it. And now I got some ink on there, but that's okay. It's going to get covered up anyway. So I look at how can I salvage that? How can I cover that rip up, right? So I have cut a base to match. We're going to use this. And what I'm going to do to this, let's do that first because I haven't ever used this. I had gotten this airplane stencil. I've never actually used it. And so we're going to use this airplane stencil today. And we're just going to use the one with a bunch of airplanes. This one has some larger ones, but I want this to be busy in the background. I just thrown this on here, and it looks like it is this way. I'm just going to throw that on there. I'm going to use some black paper ink here. Brand new, and I'm going to stain this with black because this is probably going to stain. All right, I'm just going to hold this down. And I loaded this up pretty good to get this stencil's kind of small little holes on it. How fun is this with a little, it's like a map designer paper that I'd use for something. And how cute just to put the planes on here. Let's grab this big one just for fun and throw some of these big ones over there. Yeah, just for fun. These are just bigger airplanes with the little trail coming behind them. 3 of them fit perfectly right in those spots anyway. Okay, we're going to set this aside, my stencil's aside on that one. Okay, I've pre-cut my bases. I have a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Then I just did slightly smaller than that to have a nice little border on that. What we're going to do to create this airplane travel theme is we're just going to do some clouds in the background for this one. This is just all about looking at these scraps and then what's the potential? What can I turn this into to have just a really great card? And I'm not going to do any pinks or anything. We're just going to kind of go with the standard blue. Just a little light blue in the background here for some clouds. And most of the time I look at this just thinking technique. What technique can I put on this background to go with this focal point? Do I want to add glitter? Do I just want to ink blend? Do I just want to leave it white and do some, maybe just run it through an embossing folder? Maybe you don't even want to do any of that and you just want to glue that to a card. So this one here is just going to get glued onto my matte layer. Like so. I like this. I like the sentiment that I picked for this card too. Wait till you see it. It just goes with the whole shebang. Okay. Then I'm going to take and pop this up on some dimensionals. Again, now I'm just going with zhuzhing this up the best I can, and this was just scrap. And I'm literally putting this together in just a few minutes. Probably didn't space that out the best, but that's okay. All right. Before I put this down on here, I did this sentiment from the Bruce Monroe Passport set. This is a set sent to everybody that signed up for their passport education for the year. Complimentary. It is not for sale. It was exclusive. I'm going to glue this right across my mistake and ink, like so. Okay? Then I'll just trim off the excess to match the shape. So center my greeting, and then make sure that it's even at the bottom. And straight. Like so. Okay. And now I'm just going to trim this to match. No flag cut at the end, no fancy, just make it so it matches. Easy peasy. Then, off of this stamp set, I used the suitcase, and I colored it with colored pencils, shaded it. Then I used Gamsol just to smooth it out and just give it a nice finish. All right, we're going to put this up on here first, because then I'm just going to use some around that sentiment. Rather than bling because of the color of this one and stuff, I just didn't want it too glitzy. We're just going to use some Nouveau drops, dress this up, and this is going to be our first card for us. And I probably should have did my clouds the other way now that I look at that, but that's okay because it's going to be almost all covered up. Pardon my head for one quick second. It's just giving me a little texture in the background. Anyway, you can't even see that it was clouds. It just gives me some blue, but that's all right. Get that to adjust. Okay. Got my airplanes on there. Little map. And I'll bring this closer. That map's probably hard to see on the camera. And then a little suitcase, and the adventure is better with you, so hopefully you're going to give this to somebody that you're going to go on a trip with. All right, I just grabbed some Nouveau drops. This one is the Gold Luxe, and I am just going to do let's see, I like alternating sometimes, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then do the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Just a little zhuzh, right? And there you have a card. I mean, think about it. You almost threw this away, didn't you? I think this is the cutest card ever, to be honest. All right, I'm going to set this aside so I don't mess up my Nouveau drops. Let's move on to the next one while my glitter's drying here a little bit. So we're going to use this one. And I already know this was from a Bruce Monroe card with a hot air balloon and some gold embossing powder and some gold veining of some shimmer paper, or shimmer watercolor, excuse me. I cut out a sentiment from this Altenew set that we're going to use. Build a flower. This is the begonia. I've not used the begonia in forever, so I went through and just thought, I'm doing this. I'm going to dig out some stuff I haven't used for a while. So this is great as a stash buster at the same time. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line this up in my top edge of my, oops, turn this the other way. Top edge of my Misty here. Sorry for my head for one sec, okay? Top edge of my Misty. This is a layering stamp set. I'm going to use these layers individually. So I'm going to go one in this corner, and I'm going to go kind of one here, and then we're going to go one there. I'm gonna move this down just a little bit because I'm gonna use the layering pieces of my leaves. I'm not gonna overlay them. I'm not gonna mask them. Okay. And all I want to do, I'm not going to emboss or anything. All I want is some tone-on-tone stamping for this one. So I am just picking a similar color as my paper. And we're just going to stamp this all tone-on-tone. It might take a couple just to get good coverage on this. I thought it'd be fun just to like, I mean, I'm just doing just the layering stamps, right? And if you wanted just to do the whole thing and just layer this and do one flower at a time, by all means, go for it. I just thought it'd be fun to use these as separate pieces. And then I'm just going to frame it out and add a sentiment. I actually really like that. I do. I like the variety of there. So let's just set that aside. We're going to take my frame, and I could pop this up, but I don't think I'm, well, maybe I will, because we got to add a little something something. Let's just pop that up on some dimensionals. And I need my little thin ones here. And that's not my thinnest, is it? Nope. Stand by. Let me grab my little strips if I can find them in here. Here we go. Little halves. These are the ones I just grabbed. All right. Just enough to pop this up. And just give it a little something around these edges. And honestly, when I do this kind of stuff, when I'm just crafting and using up scraps and just in like having fun in the craft room, I will pick sentiments and I will make cards out of this stuff of like for right now, for example, I'm really short on birthday cards. And so these ones I would probably make all in birthday cards, right? I just pick sentiments that go with the theme of it for right now for these cards. But normally if I'm just in the craft room, these would probably right now be birthday cards for me. Or if I have some cards that I've been needing to make because I got to get something out, then I would probably try to match to that. But and like this one, once we get this on, put this on a card base, and easy card. That's one thing I like when I do scraps too is, I throw this stuff in a bucket because at the time I used it for what I needed, and sometimes I make something and I'm like, I don't like this. It's not what I wanted for this particular card. I don't throw it. I'll throw it in the bucket and come back to it because eventually I'll probably be able to make something out of it. All right, we're just going to line up this bottom edge here. These sometimes get hard because they're a little flimsy. Like so. And I'm keeping that tone on tone kind of feel. So let's just find, ooh, I kind of like that up there. I do like that right there actually. And I'm going to glue it to the edge of my card. And lay that down. So I liked it right kind of coming off of that curve. Like so. Use up the scrap of this. I used a rose gold embossing powder by Bruce Monroe. It matched this paper to a T, and I just thought it was very matchy and worked. And I'm just gonna go, well, it's gonna go right with the glue now. Simple. I don't think it needs any more. I think the simplicity of this is a huge statement. I don't think it needs any bling. I don't think it needs any florals or leafy or anything in the corner. It's simple, and don't mess with it. So that is card number 2. All right, let's come back to this one. May not be completely dry. We'll work with it. All right, this was the cutout piece. This is my background that I'm going to be putting on a card. And let me measure this because it actually would be nice. I think I may have did this already. This should fit onto this green with a little bit of a border, and I think it fit because of that. Yeah. So let's get this onto my green mat. Very little border on this. I needed the base of this here to be the size it is because I needed the other piece to fit. I'm just going to tap those edges down since it is still wet, just for video purpose here to get this done. All right, now I put this up on dimensionals. I might as well add this to my holiday stash. It is, when I'm recording this, it's just pre-holiday. I have not sent out my holiday cards yet. And this one is probably just going to go in with my holiday cards since I need to make probably about 10 more that I know I'm going to be short on a few extras that I wanted to send to some new people this year. So I'll just add this to my stash. Okay, sorry if my head's in the way for 1 second here just so I can center. Again, look at how nice that pops from around that, right? You have a great card. Now, I just did a cutout from my Pink and Main holiday die cut set I just got this year. And I did it in gold and then layered it on some deep, rich red. And I don't think that this is going to need anything else. This might look okay if you had some holly. You know, if I could probably cut out some things off of this paper pad and add as embellishments here too, but I think at the same time this is okay with just this one simple statement here. Again, pardon me, center, and get it straight. That would look fine kitty wampus too a little bit. It's not totally straight. And there we have another card. Let's take a look at these 3 cards. Again, all scraps, all from frame die cutting, the middle pieces and the outer pieces. What great cards, right? I love this card. This travel card, I love. I almost might have to repeat this one and make a couple of these because this one I absolutely adore. So, very simple, and I did not waste anything, and I got to use up some other scraps. This was made of a gold scrap and things, so use that stuff up. All right, you all. Thank you so much for hanging with me. I know this was a little bit longer, scrappy short for you this week, but I thought it would be fun to knock out 3 cards with these leftover die frames that I had, and made some cute little cards. Dig out your scraps. Save those die cuts. Save those guts from those die cuts because you can still make a card out of it. And if you don't have inspiration now, throw it in the bucket and come back to it when the inspiration hits you. Thank you all so much, and until next time, I'll see you then.